Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is I, the legendary thicc. That's optional though. The thicc part isn't, but the legendary is if you want. We're here to talk about, of course, what else? Tua Turtle Toyota and the upcoming game against the Buffalo Bills. And let me just go ahead and start by saying, I'm sure you've seen that title, you know exactly what I'm saying, or maybe you don't, you have no idea. Titanium Tua. And of course, that we know this doesn't mean him physically, we're talking about mentally, because damn, what this kid has had to endure so far, so early in his NFL career, it's just not fair. You know, Tua, you deserve better, buddy. You honestly do. That's my hardcore belief, and hopefully it'll get better. In the meantime, though, keep that chin up, man. Keep doing what you've been doing. Keep doing you. Am I the only one that feels like the media has a bias against this kid? They want him to fail so bad. So bad. It got me thinking, you know, is it that they have a thing against him? Or is it against the Dolphins? You know, because it seems to have started after he got drafted. Ever since he became a Dolphin, the media was already immediately like, alright, no, forget this kid. He's crap. He's trash. Get him out of here. They need to start looking towards drafting somebody else. They need to draft them a Justin Fields. They need to... You know, that was the case. And now it's amazing. It's amazing that they keep asking him questions about this, you know? Because let's face it. No matter what happens, even though it has, you know, it affects his employment status moving forward and where he's going to continue his career at, it doesn't really have anything to do with him. It's not his choice. If he gets traded, he gets traded. If not, he doesn't. But, you know, why do they keep asking about, hey, dude, what about the trade? Hey, what about the fucking game that's coming up? You know, if I were him, I wouldn't have even bothered. I wouldn't have fielded any of those questions. But look, it's none of my business. I mean, it is, but it's not. This is a business, and they're going to do what they're going to do. But in the meantime, I'm the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to prepare as such. So if nobody has a question about the Bills, I'm out of here. I got a game to prepare for. You know, but he's a little too nice to say that to them, but you know, that's whatever though. What I hope happens, obviously the odds are stacked against us. We saw what happened the last time Miami faced off with Buffalo, and that was in Miami. The Bills went in there and kicked the shit out of us and flew home nice and happy. That was also the game Tua got injured in, so you know, we'd like to avoid a repeat of that. But what I really hope happens, what I would love to see happen, would be Tua go out there and have himself a career day. Have the greatest game of his life. Just go out there and make it rain all over Buffalo's defense. And after that, after a resounding victory, walk up to the podium and say, I officially request a trade. And then just walk out. It would be incredible. I'd love that. Oh, the cojones on that one, you know? Now, of course, I think Tua's a little too nice to do that too, but a man can dream, right? Man can dream. So either way, it doesn't look like the deal's going to get done, and if it does, we're not going to find out until next week after this game anyways, so all attention should be paid to the Bills at this point. Now, if you missed the lunch bunch with the guys from the fish tank, then of course, you know, you guys are missing that every Friday. You're missing out. It's a good time. They do that on Instagram Live, 1 p.m. on Friday afternoons. Very good stuff. And they'll usually let somebody jump on there, chat with them too. They, you know, they've let me get on there a couple times. I know me. Ridiculous. But, yeah, tune in, man. It's good stuff. And then, of course, tune in after the game for their post-game show, which is, I'm not 100% sure where to find it, but you can find it on one of that radio app. See, they screwed me up, because it used to be called one thing, now it's called something else, and now I can't remember either name. So I don't even know what to do with that. They are also broadcasting on the radio station formerly known as, what was it, WQ something the Joe? I don't know, man. Just freaking Google it, look it up, and I'm sure that they'll be tweeting about it. You can find it on the Fish Tank's Twitter, Travis Wingfield, all them stuff. But those guys are all involved in the lunch bunch, and if you missed that, they were asking, what would it take for Miami to pull out a win here? And I'll even expand that. What would it take for them to avoid another blowout? And I think the answer is pretty simple. You know, and this is, of course, not looking from a X's and O's standpoint. You know, I'm not I'm not exactly an aficionado per se. You know, you're only talking to the legendary third string pee-wee punter, okay? Borderline Hall of Fame. You keep that in mind. So when I'm looking at it, obviously my perspective means a whole lot. But plain and simply, what we would need to be even remotely successful is the offense needs to score points. The offense needs to score points, put points on the board, because that's been the issue. Everybody's been wondering what's up with the defense. Well, if you've noticed, the defense is usually doing pretty good early on in the game. But it doesn't matter what defense you have in there. It doesn't matter if you've got the early 2000s Miami defense, the early 80s Bears defense. You could have the greatest defense ever. But if their offense can't stay on the field and they keep having to go back out, they're going to get gassed, they're going to get run over. That's what happens. Eventually they will fall flat. So that's what's going to prevent another blowout, and that's what could lead to victory. The offense has to get going. The offense needs to start up, coast, and get the job done. They just need to get down the field. Put points on the board. If you could score some touchdowns, you can make Buffalo uncomfortable. Now, of course, a lot of this is wholly dependent on the offensive line, which we have had problems with all year, which again, still don't understand how that's the case. You know, dumped all that draft capital into the offensive line, and for some reason they just cannot seem to protect Tua at all. They couldn't stop rain from hitting Tua if they had 16 umbrellas. Ridiculous. You know, it's truly remarkable. I've never seen anything like it before. Now, it does look like we're going to be without a few weapons. Devontae Parker's still questionable. I am a little curious to see if he makes it back. Read this morning that Preston Williams will not be making the trip to Buffalo, although he's not on the injury report, so that's kind of curious. Surely no need to overreact there. No word on Will Fuller. It would be nice if he made an appearance. I think Albert Wilson might still be around as well. We've got Jalen Waddle, Mac Hollins, of course, and Patrick Laird was elevated from the practice squad. I would love to see Kirk Merritt maybe get elevated too. We know that he's capable of doing some great things. He was very fast and can jump high. I'd love to see all that come to fruition. I think Isaiah Ford is also still with the team on the active roster, which, God, we just can't shake that man, can we? You know, he came in as a 7th rounder, if you guys don't remember, and he has just been a hard worker. You know, kept his head down, studied his playbook, and for the love of God, man, when he got his opportunities, when he was out on that field, he gets open, he catches the ball. Amazing that is where the bar is now. We don't need spectacular. If you could just get open and catch the ball, you are a starter. So we've got those guys. Of course, our running back stable's still basically the same. Myles Gaskin should lead this group out. They've got Malcolm Brown in there, I think. Didn't see what the deal was with Ahmed. Think he's still around too. Everybody should be fine. And our tight ends room should be great. We still got Mike Gesicki, so he's healthy and should be putting up some points. That would be cool. Durham Smythe. And I think we got a couple other guys too. Is Adam Shaheen still there? Does anybody know? Yeah, I don't know. On the defensive side of the ball, we've got Jerome Baker questionable with a knee injury. Igbenogany also questionable with a knee injury. On the Buffalo side, they've got a defensive tackle that's questionable with a foot injury, an offensive tackle who's questionable with a back injury, and then Dawson Knox, their tight end, is out with a hand injury. So, obviously, on paper, it looks like we're going to get our asses kicked. But any given Sunday, folks, any given Sunday, that's always the way to look at it. And I feel pretty confident in this group. You know, I'm not as quick to give up on Coach Flo as some other people in our fan base might be. We've seen this man do a lot with a little. You know, that first year of his tenure, he managed to get 6 wins out of that squad, and that squad was made up of mostly throwaways and late round picks. You know, these were guys that did not cut it on other people's rosters. We still managed to get 6 wins out of that, which is pretty phenomenal. And I think that there's a lot of potential in this group that we currently have. You know, I am kind of curious what happened. Just like last year, we went into the season expecting that the wide receivers should be our area of strength, and they've become another area of concern. I don't understand how this keeps happening. One thing I would be interested in seeing is if we might trade for another weapon. You know, it's very possible we'll see some of our guys get shipped out. I wouldn't be surprised if Devontae Parker got traded, which I've been saying for the longest time now. I would have traded him probably a couple of seasons ago, if not a little bit before then. Probably for sure after the breakout season, but whatever. I would like to see us maybe reach out and get another speedster if we could. I know Andy Isabella's been buried on Arizona's depth chart because, I mean, they've got DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Green and then Christian Kirk. Now the rookie Rondale Moore appears to be taking the place of Andy Isabella, so he's been inactive for the last 5 of 6 games, and the kid is an absolute burner. So I don't think you can ever have too much speed on your offense, so I wouldn't mind seeing Miami part with a late round pick to bring that kid in there just to get another speedster, another set of hands that we could potentially get the ball into and get down the field, you know, because that's been our issue, and I don't understand, man. We moved back up in the draft to select Jalen Waddle, and it does not appear that we know how to use him, you know. In the lunch bunch, they were talking about Travis Wingfield specifically had mentioned doing, you know, end arounds and sweeps and stuff. I'd love to see some of that action. I would also mix in some quick slants, things like that. Just stuff to get the ball in his hands on the move is the basic idea. Let's try and avoid the screens if we can, because we haven't had a whole lot of luck with those. So that would probably be the way to go about it. Just get the ball in the hands of the playmakers on the move, preferably. Let them do the work, pick up the extra yardage, and eventually that yardage will turn into touchdowns. We just got to trust them, man. We got to believe in them. We've got to put them in position to succeed. And I think that is possible we can do so. You know, in the meantime, shout out to Tua for having the thick skin that he does, man. I mean, wow, look at him go, taking all this shit in stride. I mean, you're coming off your 2 best games so far as a pro, and all anybody can ask you about is, what about the trade rumors? Are you concerned about your status as the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback? Do you think that they're going to... Why do you guys keep peppering him with that? You see, they want him to fail so bad because it'll give them more to talk about. You know, they want him to be distracted. They don't want him keeping his mind on the game where it needs to be, so they keep asking him all of this bullshit. I mean, what difference does it make? Which is what I would ask them. Like, how do you feel about it? What difference does it make? Okay, it's not my call. If they trade me, they trade me. If they don't, they don't. But for the time being, I'm the starting quarterback of the Dolphins. So if you guys don't have anything to ask me about the upcoming game, I'm going, because I need to get ready for it. He's basically playing for his career at this point. At least it looks like it. Because if he does not, if he fails to make an impression for the rest of this season, which, by the way, also, that reminds me of the comment that Coach Flo gave. Another lackluster response as to, oh, well, Tua's our starting quarterback for the remainder of the season, for 2021. Very comforting, Coach. Thanks. Love the vote of confidence there. Oh, Tua's our starting quarterback probably for the rest of this year. You know, we'll see about next year. I don't know about next year. Maybe next year too. We'll see. Is basically what he said. That's really nice. And hence why, man, I would love it if Tua just went out, balled outrageous, and then came back to the podium and was like, yep, I'm requesting a trade. Have a great day, everybody. Walk on out. Because you know what? Miami would deserve it. We've absolutely bungled the start of his career, and this is embarrassing. This is incredibly embarrassing. And, you know, and the fan base has been divided hardcore, straight down the middle, as to whether or not to like this kid, and that's unfortunate, you know? I heard Colin Cowherd talking about it, and he's like, oh, remember Miami bailed early on Ryan Tannehill. Bailed early? He was in Miami for like 6 seasons. Didn't get going until the back end of it, and then he got hurt. So I guess it depends on what you define as early. This is early. To his 2nd season, that is early, okay? But when we bailed on Tanny, we had to. We had no choice. You know, he was making too much money. Jury was still out on him. And at that point, I don't know, man, all the damage had been done. It only made sense to move on from him. Probably could have gotten more for him, but hey, what you gonna do? And I would hate to see the same thing happen to Tua, but I would love it if we at least gave him the opportunity. Can he at least finish the season before we declare him a bust? You know, the kid's good. At least he can be. You'd be surprised what you could do with a little bit of faith. You know, faith from the right sources. And so I'm hoping for him. I'm very hopeful. I'm optimistic about this game. When asked what part I'm most excited about, I said kickoff. Because I'll still be excited at that point, but it could be all downhill from there. Of course, the optimistic person in me is saying, nah. The optimistic person in me is saying maybe Tua will go out there and make it rain. So anyways, what do y'all think? Is it too early to bail on Tua? You know, what are your thoughts on Deshaun Watson? What are you thinking about, man? Let me know in the comments. Check the description for links to all kinds of fun stuff on Amazon. If you go through those links and purchase something, it may help this channel out, may help me out, and I appreciate it greatly. You guys are the best. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at SeriouslySavak. So it's the same as my YouTube channel name. Get on there, go get them. And then, of course, tune in for the Lunch Bunch on Fridays, man, 1 p.m. Lots of fun stuff going on there. It's the guys from the Fish Tank, and they tend to have a lot of fun. Once again, I appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked it, or if you didn't, like and subscribe. Either way, I appreciate the view. For everybody else, I am the legendary Savak. These are my dogs. You can't see them, and I'm not going to turn the camera over there because I'm afraid I'm going to fucking break something. And I'll see you next time.